Bramborough back with Grand Tactician Civil War. Union campaign in now version 1.08 live. Up front, no tactical map action in this episode for a change. But that doesn't mean it's a bunch of, project and policy chatter, economy, and things like that. Armies are moving. There's a lot of operational level maneuver on the campaign map in this episode. Tennessee and Arkansas are lively. Things are starting to happen in Virginia. It's not like everything's been completely static up till now, but now, more and more, it's Union forces moving and Johnny Reb having to react to that rather than the other way around. Some armies, both red and blue, stirring from positions they've held for months. We are on the march. As mentioned at the end of the last episode, we had a battle, some contact initiated in Arkansas, the Army of the West, in a battle with our Army of Missouri. Army of the Missouri. And I expected them to withdraw immediately. And so I fought that battle off camera, as mentioned. They did fight a little bit more than I expected them to, enough to have lost almost another 1,100 men. But other than that, it really wasn't too much of a battle. So, Lyon is able for now to continue his advance in Arkansas. And that's what's going on in the Trans-Mississippi Theater. The Army of the Missouri kind of pushing rebels in front of them. We had a battle up here at Fayetteville. We just now had another battle against the Army of the West, who, it's got to be said, surprisingly kind of recovered their morale. Enough to make an attack. But another defeat there, and they're going to continue pushing on. The goal is to besiege and capture Fort Smith, both the Fort Smith, and the city of Fort Smith. Right toward the end of the last episode, we saw that Fort Henry successfully withstood its siege, so Polk's command and the Missouri State Guard should be commencing their retreat, which means we can get Sherman, we can resume our plan here and get Sherman moving down to Nashville for an advance by Grant on the Army of Tennessee. He had been kind of waylaid there by the siege. I feel like every campaign kind of starts getting into this mode where I'm not aware of a specific mechanic, but the enemy armies, even though, if we look at the morale of the armies, they're about the same. And these typically stay pretty close to each other and also relatively high. But there's got to be, and the support is pretty much equal between the two, despite the fact that we have all those POWs stacked up at Camp Chase. The average Confederate support really hasn't gone above the mid to kind of high 80s. And that could be because of the 1.08 larger capacity. If we were still on the 1,000 capacity POW camp, this might be a little bit higher. But kind of equal national support, equal Army morale. But this national morale, we're getting close now to, they're getting close now to 50. But right around here is when the campaign AI kind of starts losing steam. And these repeated attacks that we've been seeing where they come, they hammer themselves into us, They get thrown back. They take a lot of casualties. They fall back to their supply depot or build a supply depot, recover readiness quickly, and then boom, here they come back again. And we've seen that cycle over and over and over, especially in this campaign in 1.07, but that's not completely new, right? That's kind of been the way that the game is. I think we're reaching kind of that stage where that's not going to happen as much anymore. Not saying they're not going to ever attack again, but I think the pace of their attacks is going to start falling off a little bit. All right. Kind of went on a little tangent there. Let's get the Army of the Mississippi. Well, what do I want to do with the Army of the Mississippi? Option A, let's get them across the Tennessee here, and let's go ahead and fight these armies here. At the moment, at least, Polk's Command and Missouri State Guard can't reinforce at the moment. Pretty soon they would be able to, but at the moment they can't. That's one option. And then, kind of same thing. They don't have any IEPs anywhere up here. They would have to fall back, probably to Dyersburg or Jackson. Option 2, get on the river, come back around here onto the Mississippi, and come down here to take out Fort Pillow, which opens the way to Memphis. Just kind of bypass them. The aggressive enough but kind of orthodox approach would be to come attack them. And maybe a little earlier in the campaign. That's what I'm kind of feeling we're in that stage where I'm going to get on the river, bring them around, and just kind of bypass these guys. Let them sit there. I don't think they're going to move up on Cairo. They didn't before. Why would they now? We have 3 forts here. Yeah. Let's bring these guys down to just above Fort, at least Stevens, right? He's got the siege. That's not where I want him. He has the siege perk. And we want him to take the river movement. There you go. And then Curtis. Yeah, let's just bring him with. Let's just bring him along too. Let's keep these 2 corps together. They're an army. They're not independent corps. Same thing. Take the river. I believe we have enough river transport to carry both of them. And then don't want to leave the Army HQ behind. So initially, they're going to have a bad supply situation. We're going to bring them in here, take this fort, and then get to Memphis. There's a port here, which will turn Union. And then I think their supply situation will be okay. We've got Sherman moving up the Cumberland to concentrate with Hooker to move in on the Army of Tennessee. Well, and the Army of West Tennessee. Cadwalader and Hurlbut moving on Chattanooga. Do we have Army HQ moving? We do. Okay, that's fine. Has time advanced enough for... Yes, Thomas is back across the river. We've got the Army of the Potomac concentrated. Start moving the Army of the Potomac forward. 3rd Corps. The Moving forward, I'm just trying to think about the routes here. We got 2 crossings. I don't know if they can use a railroad bridge for... Let's move 3rd Corps here. Not quite close enough to make contact, but enough so that they may make contact anyway. Let's move 10th Corps to Culpeper Courthouse to this crossing. Move 1st Corps up to this crossing right by Fredericksburg. 2nd Corps, just kind of between them in a reinforcing position. He does still have the yellow readiness. And for now, yeah, we'll just... I don't know if we need to move Scott up with him, but we will. Hatteras Expedition. Rising in morale after that debacle. Still unstable, though. Oh, this Army of Tennessee is starting to move. For the first time ever. Just got shot. Yeah. See that gunboat? He went on to get on the river, and that gunboat fired at him and he went back ashore. However, what are these cats doing? What's going on here? Shouldn't they be retreating from Fort Henry? These guys aren't moving here. Army of the Mississippi, they're coming down. They've made it to the Ohio, and they're just about to get to the Mississippi. Is this just their retreat path to get away from Fort Henry? I don't know. Rearguard action, suffering casualties. Yeah. That Army of Tennessee is moving. Where is it moving to? And what is this? 50,000 Springfield rifle muskets. Yes, please. Okay, well, my idea was to force this army to retreat such that it could not retreat toward Knoxville. Well, he's not retreating. He started slipping away before I could go over and attack and make him retreat. So now he is advancing on Knoxville. And the plain truth is that Army of the Kanawha, there's not enough force here. They can't go up and mix it up with those guys. We're just going to let them continue to capture Chattanooga. And we may lose Knoxville again. Question is, do I want to march Grant across the mountains to chase him? Or would it be better to bring Grant by rail here and then come up from this direction? I don't know. I think if we're going to operate like that and to open up connection to Chattanooga, we probably need to clear these armies out of here. That seems to make more sense. Okay, McClellan has arrived just above Fort Pillow, and his corps are almost there. And here we are. We are besieging. No, we're in a battle against the Army of the Trans-Mississippi. Okay, at the moment, this is overwhelmingly in our favor. But the Army of Arkansas could come join it. And as soon as they recover, they're somewhere over here as well. The Army of the West could as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and convert this to a tactical battle. And I don't think there's going to be much to show. And the goal is really just to make the Army of the Trans-Mississippi also retreat and continue our advance. That's all I'm after there. Yeah, they retreated. There wasn't actually any combat. Not a shot was fired. These few losses shown here from attrition started very late in the day, so there was an overnight phase. That's all there was to that. But that army should be retreating as well. And Line will continue his push. I thought Line was in plenty of range. However, he wasn't actually in that battle, which seemed kind of odd. Let's move him up a little bit closer. This Army of the Oconee. Only 5,500 men at the moment. If we wait for him to grow to 19,000, it'll be a battle. Let's push 4th Corps into him right now just to make him retreat. And let's force march him. Chattanooga getting captured. Has the Army of the Potomac gotten to their positions on the Rappahannock? Mostly yes, I think. Oh, we got a battle going on here. Looks like we're engaged in siege warfare with the Hampton Division and the Army of the Northwest. 3 of our corps, actually 2 of our corps are involved. Right now it's showing more forces for the Confederates. Actually quite a few. That's almost 35,000 men. However, I think that's because this number right here seems really low. 14,000 infantry? I'm not sure what's going on there. I think it's showing all the units of both corps, but I don't think the totals up here are yet reflecting the totals of both corps. Either way, let's pop 2nd Corps into this siege battle with them. Okay. How's our fleet doing? About the same. Time actually hasn't advanced very much. Okay. Polk's Command and Missouri State Guard continuing to fall back. Hooker pushing into the Army of Oconee. All right, they're falling back. But they're falling back this way toward the Army of Tennessee, who apparently has not yet reached Knoxville. Okay, I want to move the cav down this way just to kind of help keep an eye on the MSG and Polk's command. Cadwallader and Hurlbut are, even after they take Chattanooga, they're going to need some supply down here. But I'm not sure they're in a position to stay here. I'm not sure they're secure enough to stay here long enough to complete building it. And I don't want to spend the $5 million and then have to move if the Army of Tennessee comes down this way. Especially if they're accompanied by some of these other smaller forces. Forts actually build faster than supply depots. I'm going to put a fort at Chattanooga and a supply depot. And let's get Cadwallader back over here. Now, what to do with the Army of the Tennessee? Could come down here and grab Corinth and Decatur. Could directly pursue these forces toward Knoxville. Could come down here to Chattanooga and move up this way. I think I like the direct approach. Let's move toward the Army of the Oconee and the Army of West Tennessee. 4th Corps. There's a nice supply depot here to grab too, if they don't burn it down, which they might. Let's move Hooker to here. He doesn't need to force march anymore. Let's move Sherman to here. And I don't think he needs to get on the river. Let's move Grant. It's fine right there. Okay, these corps are ashore. Let's get Stevens on this fort. I want him to be the corps that initiates the siege. And then Curtis come up behind. Okay, let's roll time some more. Damn. Okay, about even. Got 12,000 men here. Got the Army of Arkansas. But these other armies may come along as well. We have 2 more brigades in this corps than we had at the beginning of the last siege. However, they've been doing a lot of fighting and they've gotten worn down a little bit. We're probably 2, maybe 3,000 below what we were up at Carrollton when we began this latest little push. Sooner, faster, better than letting this drag out, though. I'm going to go ahead and try assaulting. It may have been a better idea to no. What we found last time when we came to Fort Smith, we got here, we had an advantage, and there was an option to actually go to a tactical battle, even though there was a fort involved. And just now, I had that option again. Last time around, I took that option. We won the tactical battle handily. However, that did not capture the fort, and things deteriorated from there. So, not taking that option, because apparently you can't take a fort that way. Which is a pity. Okay. Now, it could come along that if these other armies join the siege and get a numerical superiority, that the whole thing turns sour on us anyway. If that happens, then, well, I don't think I have the option now, do I? No. Okay, it's just going to have to play out however it plays out. If we have to retreat back to Carrollton, we'll retreat back to Carrollton. Meanwhile, I saw another weapon thingy float by up there. What was that? 64 more wireds. That was just kind of a few more rifled artillery that I had coming in. Let's just double check the weapons orders in here and see how close we are to that British stuff. Got a few more 24-pound howitzers coming. Actually, apparently I don't remember ordering that many, but okay. We have 128 howitzers coming. Infield musketoons are 6 days away. Nice. Apparently we have some 3-inch ordnance coming. Still quite a ways out. Couple months. Infield rifle muskets. 17 days, 50,000 of them. Whitworth rifles. 600-yard range, excellent accuracy. I don't have them all memorized, but there are extremely few, possibly only this weapon. There's quite a few with very good accuracy. I think this might be the only one with excellent. Maybe the Sharps rifle and the Dreiss needle gun have excellence, but anyway, this is excellent accuracy at 600 yards. And they are 6 days away, 25,000 of them. Looking forward to that. All of those, so we've got a bunch of cav weapons and a bunch of sniper rifles coming in just a week. And then we've also got 50,000 more Springfield rifle muskets coming. No, not coming. Already here. So once those Whitworths and musketoons get here in a few days, then I'll go through and equip brigades with them, possibly recruit a few new brigades, and all of these units that are sitting back up here in the departments. They're sitting back here and they're training, right? They're not completely not doing something productive. They are improving their training levels. And the commanders I have back in the departments, including division commanders, didn't need them, but I put them in divisions, partly partly just because so I didn't have a big long string of units and have to scroll all the way down. Just made it easier to see them all in, just in this view. And also because with division commanders, I've got Buell and I've got a division commander who are helping train these guys. And I went through it. All these division commanders aren't completely random. I just went through and picked out guys who weren't very good on things like leadership and initiative and cunning, but did have 2 stars in administration. Buell and Canby have got administration. I think Buell might actually have. And that's another good reason to have this army commander, even though they're not co-located. 3 administration. Buell, 3 administration. And then, these guys all have just 2 administration, but otherwise you wouldn't want them in an army. And they're helping train up these new brigades so that they won't be untrained. They may still be poor, but a few of them might actually hit regular. But they're sitting up here with mixed muskets and mixed cav weapons and 6-pounder field guns. But now we've got the stuff to properly equip them, and we can we can either plus up our existing forces with a few brigades, or there's actually enough in each department where we could put together another, corps, about the size of these smaller ones, like the 6th and 7th here, or I kind of feel like 9th Corps here has only got 4 brigades. I'm kind of thinking maybe 2 or 3 brigades might come to Cadwallader's little army here. In any case, blathering on. Army of the Tennessee on the march. Okay, these guys came all the way down here to Corinth. I don't know if they're being spotted by our gunboats or by the cav. Gunboats are closer. We'll move the cav a little bit closer. Cav is out of range of Grant now, though. That's okay. He's doing cav stuff over there. All right. So Grant's got his army. He's got about 50,000 men. I think these forces combined with, we don't know exactly where the Army of Tennessee is. It hasn't gone as far as Knoxville. It hasn't even gone far enough to exert influence on this IIP or this mine. It's probably sitting right here just outside of range. It hasn't come up here towards Somerset or Munfordville into Kentucky. I'm kind of feeling like they're running out of IIPs to retreat to. Even if Army of Tennessee were to reinforce, and we have a pretty big battle here, I think their only path is to go south. And if that's the case, hell, in this situation, they might retreat into North Carolina. I think it's more likely they'll try to come down here to Huntsville, Alabama. But they might retreat east and not be able to capture Knoxville on the way. Okay, the siege of Fort Pillow has commenced and is heavily in our favor, even without having to go to assault. And that's just with Stevens' Corps engaged. I do have Curtis moving up to add his weight of numbers to this, but I think this is going to resolve pretty soon, even without doing an assault. These guys are moving. Where exactly they're moving to, not very clear, and they're not moving very fast. I do have it on 1x, not my usual 5x. Okay, it looks like Polk's command is moving up toward the Cav. That's okay. Here, just come back over. You know what? Come back over here. Oh no, he's building a supply depot. Let's just move the Cav over here and capture that depot right there. Is Army of the Oconee actually moving toward us? No. He made contact, but now he's retreating. Pursuit. Rearguard action. Let's go back to 5x. They're retreating south. I don't have a huge problem with that. Hey, Army of the Tennessee, current position report, June 15th at Knoxville. However, he's not capturing it. That's interesting. So he didn't stop. I don't know where he's going. Maybe coming down here to Chattanooga. Okay, Army of the Oconee has broken contact. I think we're in a situation now where Army of West Tennessee would just retreat. Let's push Hooker up into him. Oh no, these guys are coming over here to join this siege. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Yeah. There's about 30,000 troops here. McClellan may have to convert this into a tactical battle. May have to. If he doesn't win before they get here, could be close. I wonder if they'll make it go faster by assaulting. I'm kind of skeptical, to be honest. Let's try it, though. And as soon as I was pressing the button, I realized that was a dumb option. I've just taken away my tactical battle option once these guys show up. Don't do what Bram did there. I've made the same mistake in a row twice now. How's this going over here? Yeah, not good. Not good. Should we give Steedman siege? His primary object is to eventually take Fort Smith. So, yeah, let's give him siege train. He may not be able to leverage that into a win here, but he'll be back. If nothing else, we're tying up a bunch of federal forces Confederate forces over here in northwest Arkansas. That's got to be worth something. Oh, okay. Hey, we got Fort Pillow done in time. Almost literally just as Samuel Cooper shows up with the Army of Georgia, the Army of Mississippi, and the Western Army, who we have fought before, but it's been a while. It's been a while. Okay, it is not a fort battle. I don't think. They're not besieging our recently taken Fort Pillow. And we've got about 30,000 men, and he's got about 35,000 men. That should be a fairly decent battle, I would think. And everybody should be on the field at the start, or at least coming very, very quickly in the next episode. That will do for this one. Didn't really have any well, not really. I mean, I did one kind of off camera that wasn't a battle. So no tactical battles in this episode, but we got a lot going on here in Tennessee, all the way across Tennessee, from the Mississippi to the Appalachians. Stuff's going on. Things are happening. Got some stuff going on in Northwest Arkansas, not entirely in our favor. It's been going in our favor, but it kind of looks like we're running out of steam over there. Fort Smith is a hard nut to crack. And then we've got contact up here in Virginia as well. So stuff is happening. And I can't quite check the status of this siege battle because of this other contact. And we will fight this battle just outside Fort Pillow on the banks of the Mississippi in the next episode. If you like what we're doing with the channel, if you like this content, then leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. If you're new to the channel or the series or otherwise just haven't seen all the episodes in this series and would like to, quick way to get to them, I'm linking a playlist here. At any rate, thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it.